I've seen numerous photos and videos in my life showing the suffering of fur farm animals. Millions killed each year behind the high walls of fur farms. Despite all these images, all fur farmers claim they take good care of the animals they keep. In order to see the truth with my own eyes, I had to get as close to the problem as I could. I worked at a mink farm in Poland for 2 months. I moved to a small village 10 kilometers away from the farm for 2 months, just my dog and I, in a small studio flat. Every day, I did 8 hours of work where stripping animal fur was the only aim. 80,000 minks locked away in cages. For 2 months, I fed them, weighed them, moved them from one cage to another, ran after them when they escaped, collected their stiff bodies once they died in the cages, brought piles of corpses to be skinned. For 2 months, I watched defenseless animals being treated like commodities. But let's start from the beginning. The minks fight each other, they harm themselves, they get sick. But there is no time to look after individual animals when you have 80,000 of them to take care of. Every day I saw minks that were hurt, their bloody gashes, bones sticking out of them, and sometimes even hatching worms. I saw minks that were partially paralysed, crawling around the cage. Medical treatment for the animals? In the best case scenarios, they would be moved to another cage or sprayed with disinfectant. I saw them every day, but I couldn't help them. They were doomed from the day they were born at the farm. My mission is the testimony of what I saw here. The minks don't like being held by the workers, so they bite and try to escape. They put themselves at risk of being hit by the workers who can't handle the animals in any other way. When I worked at a warehouse and dropped a box, I was so irritated I wanted to throw it around. It's a similar situation here. For some, the most bothering thing about working with animals are the animals themselves. They treat them as if they were boxes, or even worse, boxes with teeth and legs. Tens of minks die every day as a result of injuries or illnesses, but maybe that's better for them. Those which survive will not leave their cages until the day they are slaughtered. For them, the only scenario is waiting to be gassed to death. Despite the fact that farmers claim they care for every animal, as each animal means profit to them, we make a new pile of dead minks every day. Even though their fur is damaged, they are still going to be skinned, just like all the rest of the minks. Sometimes even more of them die. Some of the farm workers are really cruel towards the animals. I've heard stories of one of them biting the head off a pigeon and putting young minks in his mouth for fun. However, the majority of people who end up here are just like everyone else, but treating animals like boxes in a warehouse is the only way of coping in this place. I don't know what might have happened to me if I'd worked here for another year or 2. My 2 months in the midst of this hell are my testimony for you. Stop fooling yourself that someone cares for the animals here. The minks are to be fed and watered, and they have to survive until the day of slaughtering. Their illnesses, injuries, and the fact they get beaten by the workers is part of the history behind fur coats and the fur elements of clothing you see in the shops. I spent 2 months working on a mink farm, participating in killing these animals, just so I can tell you what it looks like up close. I hope my testimony helps to change the situation these animals are in.